live with Mikey T, the movie star, you heard? On Report Card Radio, man. Tune in, man. Who the fuck is?
All right, guys. So Build or Destroy is a new series that you've been working on. Can you tell me how the two of you actually came together?
I'll let you talk, because I didn't talk the whole time last time. You know what I mean? Let me drink real quick.
I'll break it down and all that, how we came together. You know, we got a little history from prison, you feel me? Like, I met him in Somerset, you know, I was doing time, 10 to 20 years. I had about 5 or 6 years in when I met you, you know, and I was on a block and shit, chilling. You know, I was into my own thing, you feel me, doing what I do. One day I came out on the block, and he was there building with somebody I know and shit, you feel me? So, what they was kicking, you know, I'm a dude that always, you know, I peep shit, and I'll be like, you know what, this sound enlightening. Like, I like to learn new shit, you feel me? You know, I'm into what I'm into. So, chopping it up, and I went over there, I sat down, heard them going back and forth like a little dialogue, you know, they was going at it too. You feel me? Two strong minds going at it. So I'm like, well, why I'm feeling that? You know, I pulled up.
Menace.
Yeah. We started kicking it, started building and shit. And, you know, one thing led to another, and we started just exchanging knowledge on books, on different things that we know, like elevating each other, you know, on a positive note. So that's how we, really clicked right there.
So, Amiz, tell me a little bit about linking with JayT and why you thought that the two of you should come together to form a new web series, Build or Destroy.
Yeah, because me and JayT walked that yard together, man. It's a little difference when you dealing with somebody that you was actually locked up with, you was building with. We planned this, we ain't playing this, but we was playing. We had all different types of plans and ideas and stuff when we was in jail. So when JayT got out of jail, he called me like, yo, man, yo, what's up, man? I'm out here. Like, what? So we linked up and we got to talking, and because at first, like I said, I didn't know anything about what JayT was doing on the streets. Like, me and JayT was just cool, when we was in jail.
Yeah, I never mentioned none of that.
Yeah, he ain't mentioned none of that, as far as his music history and stuff like that. He ain't mentioned none of that stuff. You know what I mean? So I had no idea about none of that. But as I was seeing his page on Facebook, Instagram, I'm like, damn, nigga, why didn't you tell me about none of this shit? What the fuck? I'm over here trying to do it. But it was some thorough shit, man. And from that point on, I looked at JayT in a different way, man, because it's yo, you doing everything, you know what I'm saying? That you said you was gonna do when you was in jail. You know what I'm saying? So you are who you say you are. You see what I'm saying? So it's time to build. He got out of jail from doing 10 years and came home. He's married, got a wife, kids. He's handling his business with his kids, his business, got his own business. You know, he works hard. You know what I mean? Bro, that's inspiring. Regardless if I was home doing it first, it's still inspiring. You see what I'm saying? Because he got out and blew past a lot of motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And it's just because of his mindset. You know what I'm saying? That goes back into his business, his brand, his actions, his t-shirt, billionaire mindset. You know what I'm saying?
So, JayT, I wanted to ask you about linking with Amiz. What do you guys plan on showcasing on the Build or Destroy series?
Most of all, because we don't want to come off too harsh where it's we telling people how to live their life and all that, you feel me? Because everybody got their own, life and how they go about things. But I feel like my part, our part together is just giving people a different way of thinking and, how to turn negatives into positives. And you feel me? Everybody have their roads they got to cross and, they're going to bump their head and get into whatever they want to get into. But it always comes back to a point of, what you going to do after that, or what you going to do to try to avoid it if you already been through it. You feel me? To get away from it. So I'm just trying to, teach them and elevate them on the mind tip of it's a lot more things to do out here than just get yourself caught up in the street shit, and just all the dumb shit that comes with that shit, man. When it's a billion other ways to get $1, you feel me? I'm all for progress and and elevation, man. So that's all I'm feeding them is just positive ways that, and I can show them that I've been through it. I did what I did in the streets, did 10 years, came home, you feel me, and still was able to bounce back from the mud on my own, you feel me? No handouts, no nothing, and just grinded 2 years straight, you feel me? Like, neglected people that wanted to be around me, all the distractions, all that shit, you feel me? So it's all about you just being mentally strong, and you can go ahead and do whatever you need to do.
You know, Amiz was actually telling me you had a relationship with G Baby. God bless the dead.
That's my brother. Like, he was on a case with me that I did time for. He just was on a run. You feel me? Like, QBB, that's our shit. G Baby's like, I knew him since we was kids. Like, that's my brother. Like, brother. Like, it gets no realer than that nigga that used to be with me every day. You feel me? We just went away and did time. He started to blow with Bleak and Jay-Z and everybody. He started mixing and mingling with niggas in Queens. Lloyd Banks, you know, French Montana, you know, Frenchie from Queens. Then you got everybody. He was networking with everybody. He was doing his thing. And right before we went to jail and caught our case, that's when he really started to rap. Him and my man Bo. I mean, Bo did time with me. He did 10 years. My other man did 8.5 years. He got deported to Belize. Feel me? So G-Baby would have get time with us. He just wasn't at the crib when they rushed all our cribs. So he got away and just stayed on the run. But in the midst of it, still was doing his music. So, yeah, that's my brother right there.
So, yo, JT, I don't want to get too deep into it, man, but did you ever hear anything surrounding the death of G Baby?
I heard little stories, a little rumors, you know, little things, but nothing was set in stone of how or who did it. You feel me? Like, well, how? Yeah, he got shot in the back 3 times, but the death of, you know, who did it, that shit is still a mystery. Nobody ever came out. It's just something that someone gonna take to their grave because they killed somebody that was Brooklyn baby boy, you feel me? Like, everybody loved him in Brooklyn. He got killed in Queens, so there's no telling who or what crowd did it because he was in a place where I feel he should have never even been by himself, really, you feel me? So he Brooklyn, if it would have happened in Brooklyn, we probably would have knew more. But it's a mystery right now to this day.
So, yo, you know, not to break off too much, but could you tell me about G Baby's label situation with Memphis Bleak? I believe it was Get Low Records?
Yes, it was Get Low Records. Yeah, so, you know, I didn't know too much about it because while I was in jail, he was on a run, so we didn't really communicate like that because they was listening to our phone calls and shit like that. So I didn't want no ties to him, so I just let him be. So I was just, you know, speak to his family and shit. But, you know, Get Low Records, he was right there through the door. Bleak was holding him down, brung him in, you know, had him, you know, get low on the Rock Nation and everything. You know, he was and he was right there, man. He was right there. He was about to blow. Like, that was gonna be his record label right there. Like, that's what he was dealing with.
That's what's up, man. But you know, obviously the musical talent has rubbed off on you a little bit because you're pushing an artist right now as well.
Yes, and that's my code D, which I mentioned both. It was 4 of us. And we all caught our case. Well, it was more, but 4 of us to be exact. Like, just on that tip or whatever the case is. A lot more others I could mention, but the one that I'm pushing now that I have with the Build and Destroy, he's my nephew, Ra, you know, fully scoped. And he's from Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn. He's nice with it. He got the hood on smash. Like, everybody love him. He kind of remind me of my late brother G Baby, the way his style is and how everybody love him. So that's my brother Bo, who fought the case with me. That's his blood nephew, but we all grew up together. He looked at me as an uncle. So, you know, I just call him my nephew and shit. So that's all family. But yeah, like, he remind me of my brother, and I love his style, his charisma, the way he rap, everything about him, his leadership, and has so much talent. And I'm just waiting for him to push him. So
aggressive rapper. He's an aggressive
rapper. He
rapper.
remind me of G Baby, so it's like, I love his whole style. He grew up under us. Like, before we went to jail, this was a little homie that was up under us, like, loving everything we do, watching our style, seeing how we hold court in the streets and everything. Like, he grew up under us, so he's just a version of us, how we used to be. So it's like we outgrew that, you know, we into different things, and now he's coming up and holding the hood down. So I have nothing but love for him and respecting it and going and pushing him as much as I can.